guys, welcome to the first part of a new series on the channel. So this will be what if Naruto and Sasuke were brothers. Now, let me just answer some questions that you guys might have. Naruto has black hair like Sasuke. The two of them, Kurama's chakra was split between the two of them, and they were praised as being geniuses, but nobody wanted to be their friends. The only person who kind of hung out with them in just like a curious type of way was Shikamaru. And he just like isn't like the other kids, but everybody stayed away from them. So the night that the Nine Tails attacked, Kurama was divided between the two brothers, and when their parents died, they were sent to live with their uncle Fugaku and their cousin Itachi. And they both looked up to Itachi very much. But Sasuke Sasuke and Naruto felt as though he was their brother. So every day when they would leave, they would practice their fireball jutsu, and they would practice training and training and training. Just keep drilling it into his head. And from a young age, Sasuke realized that he had this other chakra inside of him, and he learned, and he kind of was practicing how to control it. While Naruto was blissfully unaware of the untapped potential that was hidden inside of him. Believe it or not, Minato had actually unevenly split the QB between them. So Sasuke had a smaller portion of it, while Naruto had a larger portion of it. And it's just kind of uneven. So Sasuke can call upon the power whenever he wants, but only for a limited amount of time. And then it will completely drain all of his chakra. But Naruto it'll only be called upon when it's in a life-threatening situation or it's absolutely needed. Anyway, so Team 7. It's still Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura. The two of them were put on the same team so that they could watch each other's backs. They also didn't trust them to be with any other teams because it'd be cause a whole conflict. And Sakura, to her chagrin, was put on this team as well to make it an even team. And the first day that they were assigned as a team, they had to meet the instructor. And this man was a whole hour and a half late. And then when he finally came up on the set, Naruto was just sitting there. And then he's just like, "Why are you late, sensei?" And then Sasuke's just like, he just doesn't even care. He's just chilling. And then Sakura's like, it's important for you to be punctual. Being a bitch. Being a very competent ninja. Anyway, they share their goals. Naruto says he wants to be Hokage, and Sasuke claims that he wants to avenge his uncle. You see, the night of Itachi's massacre was worse than an original. As Naruto and Sasuke were making their way home back from the academy, Itachi had struck, trapping Sasuke in a horrible genjutsu. Naruto and him, he stood there looking across at Naruto, and Naruto was just asking, Itachi, why would you do this? Why? And in a split second, as he felt all that anguish, he released the genjutsu, and Sasuke saw him coming closer to Naruto with the katana. He obviously didn't want to watch his twin brother die, so instinctively, he charged up a fireball jutsu and was like, "Fireball jutsu!" And he blasted it at Itachi. Itachi, being like the realest nigga on this whole fucking anime, dodged that shit like a pro. Anyway, so Naruto just sat there, and Itachi walked over to Sasuke and bat him back. And Naruto, he lost his shit. Because next, Itachi ran over to him and stabbed him through with a blade, pinning him to a tree. And he just sat there as Sasuke bled out. And he genuinely thought Sasuke was dead. And the QB took over. And this time, he got a huge Rasengan. Not a Rasengan, I shouldn't say that. It's like a large fireball jutsu directly to the face. And Itachi didn't manage to dodge all of it. So he had a slight burn on his arm. And Naruto was going to continue rushing him, but Itachi trapped him in a genjutsu and left. Some ninjas that were patrolling that night found Sasuke pinned up against that tree on life support and Naruto on the ground, and he ain't looking too good. It turned out that Itachi had slain the whole clan for no reason and left in the night. So Sasuke looks at Kakashi, not with fear, but with pure hatred in his eyes, and he says, "I will avenge him." And then Kakashi's just like, "Jeez." And then they start the belt tests. Now, Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke came up with a plan. Naruto suggested that he would be able to. They began to formulate their plan, and Sasuke and Naruto conversed. Sakura sat there just confused, and she finally spoke out.
I don't trust any of you, but just make sure not to get me killed.
And as she said that, Sasuke just turned around and he grimaced, and he's just like, "You don't have to be a part of the plan if you don't want to be." And he jumped out of the tree, getting into the clearing. Kakashi just looked at the kid confused, and then he scratched the back of his head. He looked at Sasuke, and then he asked him, Are you, well, he didn't say anything. He's just kind of thinking it. He's like, is this kid dumb? And Sasuke runs at Kakashi, and he jumps directly over him. He jumps back, he leans his head back, pushing chakra to his throat, and he shoots out a fireball jutsu. Kakashi dodges it no problem. But that's when Naruto summons two shadow clones to come in. And the two of them, one charges up a wind style jutsu, right? And it's going to be called wind style, wind vacuum. And the other one charges up a fireball jutsu. But just the act of making the clones and then the clones coming in with those jutsus left Naruto on the verge of any of his energy. So Sakura watched as Sasuke shoot the jutsu at Kakashi, and she was prepared to come in when Naruto's two clones came in. One jumped behind Kakashi again and tried to hit him with the fireball jutsu. But when he dodged, the other clone came in and he touched the ground. And then a spire of wind just shot up from the ground, encircling him and pushing him down. Then Kakashi was able to just substitute himself for a log pretty easily. But he was impressed that they were able to think so tactically on their feet. So he jumped back and he smirked. This aren't your ordinary genin. And then he cracked his knuckles. Let's see what they can do. And as he ran in, he created a mud wall as Sasuke came in with a small lightning jutsu. Let's call it lightning fox hunting. And he created a small fox made out of lightning, and it charged at Kakashi. So he created a mud wall to block the jutsu. Naruto was still on low and chakra, so Sakura jumped out from the trees, and she kind of just threw a bunch of kunai at Kakashi. And Kakashi, at the time, because he was fighting Sasuke, for a split second, almost got hit. But then he substituted himself for another log, and the log caught all those kunai and shuriken to the back. So Sakura jumps back, and then she's just pissed. Naruto grits his teeth angrily, and then he's like, I have to use it. And then he looks at Sasuke, telling him, we have to. Sasuke nods along at him, and Naruto grits his teeth. He stands back, and he takes a dramatic fighting stance, and then he looks at Kakashi and he's like, Kakashi-sensei, we're gonna take you down. And then Sakura jumps off from the trees one more time, trying to throw him with some ninja tools. And Kakashi just dodges that shit, not even substituting this time. But he is curious to what Naruto and Sasuke are planning. So Sasuke suddenly gets an aura around him, and he rushes at Kakashi at breakneck speeds. And Kakashi and him are just having a taijutsu battle, barely matching speeds and energy. When suddenly, Kakashi backflips back, and he stabs Sasuke in the stomach, only for the kunai to break as soon as it made contact with Sasuke's aura. And then he figured it out. He figured out how Kakashi is surprised at how well Sasuke and Naruto, well, Sasuke in particular, was able to keep up with his taijutsu skills, but also realized that Sasuke was tapping into the Nine Tails' power. And immediately, he punched Sasuke really hard. Then he summoned a lightning blade, and he charged at Sasuke, knowing full well that this would definitely disrupt his QB chakra cloak. And he dashes at Sasuke, and in one clean slash, the QB cloak takes a major damage. But while all of that's preparing, Naruto prepares his final kamikaze attack, kind of. He creates another shadow clone, and he builds up a lot of chakra inside his stomach, and he tells his clone to use pressure bomb, his technique. So that clone builds up chakra in his stomach too, and they both run at Kakashi after he cuts Sasuke with the lightning blade. Sasuke's cloak is still holding up barely, so he manages to punch Kakashi in the stomach a bunch of times, headbutts him back, and then into the awaiting ultimate explosion, as Naruto calls it, where he uses the pressure bomb technique, which is basically him pushing wind chakra out of his mouth in like very pressurized, and it's usually to push opponents away, but Naruto used it as a way to incorporate wind, and then he himself created a massive fireball jutsu, and he shot it directly into the epicenter of the thing. So it expanded tremendously because wind and fire do well together, and expanded so much that it actually hit Kakashi back, destroying a little bit of his Jonin uniform. But Kakashi wasn't playing this time. So he pulled out a kunai and he got serious. He dashed for Sakura and knocked her out. And then he's like, you guys are incredibly powerful Genin, but I'm not gonna lose to a bunch of little kids. And that's when Sasuke prepared for one of his really dumb jutsu that he hasn't used since he was in the academy. It's called the Lightning Fist. He uses the jutsu, pushing lightning chakra to his fist, and he knows that this isn't about to work. And with the last bit of energy he can muster, because he knows as soon as this cloak disappears, he's going to collapse from chakra strain. So he tries to punch Kakashi, of covering his fist in lightning. Of course, that obviously doesn't work. And as soon as his hand nears Kakashi's face, he passes out. And he drops just like that. But Naruto has a jutsu similar to that. But it's where he shapes wind chakra around his hand. By the way, they're prodigies, if you haven't figured that out by this battle already. He forms wind chakra on his hand and creates a blade, like a chakra scalpel, but it's wind. So it's sharper, I assume. Because it said wind on an object increases its cutting power. So Naruto dashes forward, and Kakashi is preparing to block because he knows about wind's cutting power. And Naruto comes in with a slash, and Kakashi gets ready to thing, only to feel nothing. And then he sees his belt cord. The cords that had the bells on them snap. As Naruto grabs the bells, grabs Sasuke, and then he throws Sasuke in the air. And he gets the hell out of there. He holds the bells over Kakashi as he stands barely victoriously. Kakashi smirks at his ingenuity and his ability, just like Sasuke's mastery of the QB cloak to an extent. And Naruto, he doesn't have the proficiency he isn't as proficient as Sasuke, but when it counts, he knows what to do. So that's it for this part 2. What if Naruto and Sasuke were brothers? Like, comment, and share for part 2 if you want one. Bye guys.